Hey guys, Ferrell here. This is the original Leica SL 601. It's a big monolithic beast and I absolutely bloody love this camera. Let's get into this. So, if you're new here, my name's Kai. I go by Feral Ginger on YouTube, and right now I'm in the middle of moving house, renovating this house, and being in a heat wave. So I'm absolutely exhausted, I'm sweating, and I've got an iced coffee to keep me going. Without that, I'd probably be dead. I work for an animal charity as a full-time job, and I've loved and enjoyed photography for over 20 years at this point. I do it as a hobby, I do it on adventures, and I also do paid events and weddings. So when it comes to photography, first and foremost, I have to enjoy it. So for the last few years, I've been on a hunt for the perfect everyday camera. And I've given up with that hunt. It doesn't exist. Recently, I had the Leica Q2, a limited edition version of it, which is probably one of the best cameras I'll ever own in my life. But I upgraded that from the original Leica Q116, and I always loved and preferred the colours from the original Leica Q. So when I sold my Q2, I was looking at potentially getting a Leica M10, and I really want to get into the M-mount rangefinder system. This is something I've talked about in my previous video, so I'll link it up here. If you would like to watch that, then please do. On that note, if you want to like and subscribe and support this channel, again, please feel free to. But while I was looking at the M series, in the back of my mind, I was always aware that really I need to build up a little bit of a lens library for the M system. And a lot of people will buy an M camera, they'll buy one lens, and that's it, done. For me, I probably will end up doing that at some point, but I knew I wanted to try a couple of lenses out. So what I've done, which is a little bit different, is I've got a camera to enjoy, to play with. I've got the Leica SL 601, a camera that's over a decade old at this point. It outperforms the M10 in almost every aspect, but it is a big chunky beast. And that's something that people don't really like about it. It's not a rangefinder style system. It does have an EVF, quite a nice big one, but I can use an adapter to fit M-mount lenses on this, and we are going to talk about that a little bit as well. But essentially, I've got this because I've always wanted to try the SL cameras out, and the original SL601 has the same sensor as the Leica Q116. So that to me just seemed like the perfect point to jump in and try it. Sure, there are better cameras in that line, but this is the one that I specifically wanted to try. And there's something that this camera does that the other SL cameras don't do. And it's going to seem really, really nitpicky, and it is, stupidly so. On this great monolithic design, you do have a bit of grip texture here. Now, on the SL2 and SL3 cameras, this grip texture actually carries on all the way along the camera. But as you can see on this original SL, this is all smooth metal. Now the reason that's important is because on the SL2 onwards, when you would hold the camera, you'd dig your nails in and scratch away there. So if you look on the used market, you would have so many scratches over this area in the textured grip, and you just don't get that on this. So it always looks a little bit less ratty, a little bit cleaner. And again, I think it looks cool, and it has the colours that I vastly prefer. That's not to say the SL2, SL3, all of the cameras in those series look bad. It's just, I know I love this sensor, and I wanted to work with this sensor. Now in terms of autofocus, frankly, it's crap. It's great for single point and recompose, it's nice and fast. If you're wanting a camera for tracking autofocus, don't buy this camera, it's terrible. It can do it, not well. Again, the camera's a decade old, it's basically a dinosaur at this point. But I like single point and recompose, so that works quite well for me. The battery life is okay. it's kind of mid, really. Again, that's nothing that I have an issue with because I come from Fuji, so I'm used to being quite conservative with my battery life. The viewfinder is absolutely incredible. Even now, it's high res, it's 4.4 million dot, which is still high even in today's market. And it's got a nice fast refresh rate. It's a lovely, lovely EVF to use. The handling for me is absolutely pristine. It feels like this camera was made for me. So there's a couple of tactile buttons and dials. You've got 4 buttons around your main screen here that have individual functions, or you can long press for additional functions. The only labeled button is the on-off switch. The menus are super clean. There is a display on the top. The dials are stunning, and the shutter button feels really nice. The grip, I have big hands. The grip is just phenomenal. I do not need an extra grip with this. It's a big, heavy camera. I'm not disputing that at all. It absolutely is. But I can get a good purchase on this camera with no issue at all. It's absolutely phenomenal. For those that will probably ask, this is an artist and artisan strap. It is a old stock model. I did get this on eBay. I really like this strap. It's really, really nice, wide, quick to adjust. You literally pull this D-ring and then slide it to wherever you want it. So lovely strap. Yeah, so I can just put an M-mount adapter on this, and I know you can with any camera. I'm not an idiot. Again, I still want that rangefinder experience. At some point, I still want to get a Leica M, and I'll probably still get the Leica M10. But I wanted something that I could take out in rough weather. The SL601, even though it's a decade old, is heavily weather sealed. I wanted something with the ability to autofocus if I need it. Again, it's got it there. But I can also use that M-mount adapter and just build up a collection of M lenses until I decide on the body that I want to get. I've always wanted to use this style of body. I've always felt that it would be comfortable for my hands, and it just is. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, I've only had it for a little while, and for the majority of that time, I've actually been using this little TT Artisan 40mm f2. Now, I am aware this looks like an absolutely bloody silly lens on this camera. It looks far too small, but if you watch my video on that, you know I love the images you can get out of this lens. It's got fantastic clicky aperture ring, and even though, again, it's a bit of a mismatch in size, it's a fantastic optic, and it comes in at a ridiculously cheap price. If you do want to purchase one, I've got a code below. I'll pop it up here as well, and it'll throw a couple of pounds my way to keep the channel going. Most of these images have been taken on it. Now, outside of that, I have recently treated myself to the Sigma DC 28-70 f2.8. Now, I've had one of the Fuji versions of this lens. That looks a bit more size appropriate. And these have a weather sealed gasket. Again, it's 28-70. It's much more size appropriate than the 24-70. And again, it's f2.8 all the way through. So I'll put up a few images from this combo. I'm really enjoying using this, and I'm going to shoot a few events just with this lens and this camera to see how that performs. Honestly, it feels pretty manageable. I'll just, boom, get a picture of what I'm seeing. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. It's really good fun. I've not had much chance to test the Sigma, but I will say the few images I've already taken from it, the images are pretty damn good. They're nice and sharp, they're quite predictable, and the 28-70 range is absolutely perfect for me. I don't want the additional weight of the 24-70. So, I've got a good selection of lenses in L mount. You know, I know that Lumix 50 f1.8 is a fantastic lens. Maybe I'll repurchase that at some point. But my main thing is I can get the colors that I want from this sensor. And now I can use this high resolution EVF, my Leica colors, my lovely tactile Leica handling on a beautiful, unique body, and then I can actually fit M-mount lenses on it. So I've got the adapter now, I've got an adapter ready to go. I've actually got my first M-mount lens on the way, which I'm really, really excited to get in and actually test and hopefully get a review to you guys if I'm impressed with it. I did, for a very, very brief time, have a Leica Summicron 35mm f2 aspherical. It was a really, really nice lens. It fit really well on this. It was a little bit small, but it, you know, the images were lovely and sharp. But there was some issues with the actual copy of the lens I've got. So I've sent that back, I've got my refund, and I've got something else, and I've gone for a non-Leica lens. So I will likely jump back into the Summicron lenses at some point, but there is very specifically a lens that I really want to try. So stick around for that. So it's just a little update today. This camera has some specs that are way, way, way ahead of its time when it was released back in 2015. It was the first full frame L-mount camera. That's a wild, wild thing. We did have a Leica L-mount camera prior to the SL601. It was the Leica T. Now that was a crop sensor camera. It was a cool camera, but I wanted a full frame L-mount camera. And this is the first full frame L-mount camera. So it can shoot up to 11 frames a second, which even now is still plenty good enough. That said, the burst rate does reduce if you're shooting it with autofocus. Again, with this, you probably shouldn't shoot it with autofocus, especially not tracking. It shoots pretty great video actually. It shoots 4K 30, which is again pretty good, and it'll actually shoot 4K in the DCI crop, which I absolutely love and is what I usually shoot on my Fujifilm cameras, so that's great. It doesn't have any image stabilization. That came in with the SL2, I believe the SL2S actually. It's got the crazy battery door that the Q series has, where it won't release the battery. You have to tap it and then it comes out and then feeds back in. So again, pull the lever, the battery loosens and just sits in this position and you tap it. So that's cool. And I've got a spare battery, so that's nice because they're not cheap. A brilliant viewfinder that's going to be very, very easy to manually focus with. So I've got access to L and M mount lenses again. So let's have at it. Anyway, there's just some thoughts. I'm really enjoying it. It's only a few images. I apologize it's not many, but thank you for taking the time to watch. If you have any experience with any of the SL cameras, let me know. I really, really love this camera. I'm really enjoying it and I cannot wait to get out there and get testing this thing once everything here is under control. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.